So there's been a perspective shift for me that's been super helpful lately. So today I had a situation where I got projected onto by a man again. As you guys know, if you've been watching me, I've actually had this happen quite a few times in the last few weeks. So I know that God is testing me right now, which I love that I have awareness of these things now. However, I will say, even though I have awareness of it, doesn't mean I still don't get triggered. So I got super triggered. By this guy because he, created multiple accounts to harass me, and he was saying like really horrible stuff, right? The last situation I had, it wasn't as terrible as this one has been. It's been like really kind of scary. It's very aggressive. It's very unwarranted. It doesn't make any logical sense either because I literally agreed with the guy, and I went to his page and then I tried to consider his feelings and emotions and apologize for my aggressive take on things, and then I was validating that I agreed with his opinion, and this is what he said to me. I'll show you. I mean, there's literally no words. I'm 111. I'm like, I literally can't even, there's nothing to say. That was his response. So instead of emotionally regulating himself, being emotionally mature, trying to, find common ground and listen to my response, right? Use comprehension skills, use emotional intelligence, accept his behaviors as well. He tripled down on his aggression while I was apologizing for mine. So again, we're just at two different levels there. That's how it goes with men these days. Most of them, I have to say. I've met a lot of really beautiful, wonderful, emotionally regulated, kind, gentle, caring men on this journey, and I'm so grateful for that because they give me hope in humanity again. So this doesn't go for literally any man I'm following. Any man I'm following, I absolutely love all of you to death. And so I'm so grateful that God has given me that as well. And also there's been like other men that I've like disagreed with on here, but like they're way more mature. Like they were able to like agree to disagree. Like they didn't like project onto me or get aggressive, like I've had some people get defensive, but that's like different than aggression, you know what I'm saying? And so like those men I really appreciate genuinely, because you realize that that's a skill that men actually have to develop, because the Matrix programming has programmed men into this type of evil, vile behavior, this harassment, this aggression, this bullying that men do, especially towards women, I feel like, because they want us to just shut up, be quiet, and, stay in our fucking place, right? And they feel entitled to, be aggressive towards anybody that disagrees with them. And I'm like, that's not okay. We're not supposed to be aggressive towards people that we disagree with. We're supposed to be able to agree to disagree, allow people to exist in their realities, and you exist in yours. And hopefully we can all come together someday and find common ground. And like, that's what I was trying to do with this guy. And he still tripled down and harassed me and went to another account because I've been blocking his accounts, and he says terrible, horrible stuff to me. I mean, I'm just like, what the hell? This is unwarranted, it's undeserved, and it is absolutely Matrix programming. Men feel so comfortable with these types of behaviors, and it's just so sad. And so a perspective shift that I've had, going back to that, is kind of viewing people as data collection. Now, I did get really triggered, so, it took me a few hours today to, like, kind of come back to, like, this calm state, because I made a bunch of videos that were super aggressive and, like, angry and shit. A couple hours have passed, and I'm like, okay. For me, when I'm talking about these topics, and they're more sensitive, and I'm trying to be effective, like, I have to be more empathetic and kind, and I want to be empathetic and kind and sensitive towards men, because I know they're programmed, even this evil, horrible, vile man. This is programming. This is why I made those videos too. The videos that man commented on, he thought I was, arguing the ethics of circumcision, but I was actually arguing a lady who was spreading a conspiracy that the reason why men are so horrible in society is because they're circumcised, because they have all this pain when they're children, and it causes CPTSD, and that's why they're so horrible. And the reason why I made those videos was because I was upset, because by oversimplifying men's behavioral problems into just circumcision. You are absolving men of the responsibility that they have to take for many, many decades of lack of accountability and programming into aggressive and violent behaviors when they don't get their way. And it's really, really inappropriate for this man to be doing this right now. It's like, read the room. With the Epstein files coming out, we're seeing how, again, men are programmed into visceral, vile, abhorrent, aggressive, violent behaviors. And in order to assert their opinions and control onto people, they will do abhorrent, evil, vile things. And that's what this guy is giving. Like, you're giving, like, Epstein vibes right now. Please get the fuck out of my fucking face. You're dangerous. You're terrifying. You're scary. You're a grown adult man who cannot regulate his emotions over a stranger's opinion on the internet while they're trying to consider your emotions and feelings and even agree with you. So I couldn't have won in that situation. So what are we supposed to do? How is that effective, right? That's what I'm trying to say to people. The way that men communicate is not effective. And it's very scary and it's very dangerous. And that's all men need to do, is they need to learn the skill of regulating their emotions and their nervous system enough to be able to effectively communicate and get their point across, and also allowing other people to disagree with them, or maybe not say it in the way that they would say it, because that's why this guy got upset. I just didn't say it the way that he wanted me to say it. But ultimately, I ended up agreeing with it. And I'm like, this is just so sad. This is so sad for men, that this is what the programming has done to them. It has absolutely sabotaged any hope for them to connect emotionally to other human beings. They can't even connect to men. They're not vulnerable with other men. And this is what I talk about, that Earth is a school of polarity. That men need to learn how to master their feminine energy and lead with it. And it's the most challenging thing you're going to have to do, because it goes against your programming. Because you are not socially conditioned to be that way. And any man that goes against that is immediately labeled as, like, gay. Or weak. And men really have to get over that. And they're also in constant competition with each other. Which is why they don't want to be vulnerable. Because they're in invisible competition with other men. Because even if they're not in front of another man, they still will get defensive. They still will get aggressive with women who are just trying to have, vulnerable conversations with them or point things out. And they still get defensive and aggressive, even if another man's not there, because they're so afraid of that competitive voice that they have in their head saying that if I'm vulnerable or I accept this right now, somebody's going to call me a name or somebody's going to call me something. And I would rather avoid the shame and guilt of some invisible man than just be a vulnerable human being in this moment. And it's sad. It is terribly sad what this society has done to men. And I believe that they can change. I have hope in them. I really do. I think it's going to take a long time. And this is why I made that video about the circumcisions in the first place, because it really upsets me when people oversimplify the actual weight of what we have to do. And that's why people cling on to those. And so I'm like, I love when God does this. Full circle moment here. This is proof of those videos, of why I made those videos, of why I was telling people that they need to ground kind of back into reality here. Because yes, it would be nice if it was just as simple as circumcisions. But the reality is that it's men like these, like this man who came at me, who have to fully take their own accountability and want to change. Because I can't force this man to change, right? He has to want to be a better person. So somehow, some way, we're going to have to incentivize men to want to be better people. And that seems impossible. That seems impossible to achieve. But I beg to differ. I believe in God. I believe in miracles. And I believe we can change men. I think it's going to take time. And I think women are going to have to make sacrifices. You have to if you align yourself to God, you'll come into divine union. So it's like, get on the spiritual path. You won't have to worry about it. It's really women who are in the programming that are really going to, really struggle. But this is what the transition of evolving society looks like. It's sacrifice. It's uncomfortable. It's hard for everybody. It's a challenge.